what was PML to you, like when you first heard about it?
I definitely thought, oh, I don't want to do that. One, because it sounded more riskier than I wanted to take on. Because transactional funding, your fund stays in escrow, so it never leaves escrow. So that sounds a lot safer than PML, where it goes to the person.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's secured, but it left escrow. So
What's going on, everybody? Hey, welcome again to my YouTube channel. Thanks for taking time out of your day. I know it's super busy, and if you're taking time to check this episode out to learn about private money lending, thank you, thank you. Today I have Dahae Yi. Did I say that correctly?
Dahae. Oh,
Dahae.
I have a D in there. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah, Dahae. Dahae Yi, she's awesome. She's been with Gator for about 2 years, and it's amazing. She's recently created this awesome platform where people can go in and put their PML deals out there, or if you're a lender, you could check out opportunities in different states. We'll be talking about that a little bit more. But Dahae, I want you to introduce yourself. Who is Dahae? What got you into private money lending?
Yeah, I had to go through a lot to focus on PML. I didn't have any real estate experience before I joined Gator. I was watching a lot of Pace's videos, obviously, but the only experience I had was fixing up half of my house to put it on Airbnb. But after that experience, I said, fix and flip is not for me. my back still hurts.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's no. So and I've just been obsessing over Pace's content. So I really wanted to join Sub 2, but it was too big of a financial commitment for me at the time. So, and I wasn't sure about myself in real estate. So I wanted to kind of test myself to see if I like working in real estate. So I said, okay, let's join Gator and test myself. So when I joined Gator, that's been almost 2 years ago. And when I joined, I focused on getting Sub 2 deals because I've been watching so many from Pace. So I was doing direct to agent calls all day.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think I did that for 2-3 months. And then I was super fortunate to get help from my Austin leader, Lamike. So he helped me close 2 Sub 2 deals.
Let's go.
So one, I got paid on my part of my assignment fee, and then the other one, he ended up buying it. So I became an equity partner on it instead of getting paid. So that was super cool experience. So, but after those experience, I'm like, wholesaling, not for me. Oh man, it was a lot of calling, following up all day, all night. Yeah. So I'm like, this is not that fun. So let me, and with my W-2, it was kind of limited. So after that, I decided, okay, I joined Gator. Let me learn the training. Yeah. So that's when I started focusing on transactional funding. So EMD double close. So I was doing a lot of outreach. I was messaging a lot of people that I don't know, that I found from different Facebook groups. And man, that was not fun at all. So I don't know if you know, but Facebook at that time, I think it's changed now. At that time, they will limit you to max 50 messages if you are trying to message somebody that you don't have any connections with. So I was limited by that. I couldn't send more messages. But it was a lot of messaging, and then, trying to keep up with a lot of post that somebody needing EMD. But so I was struggling a lot, but I got really lucky in finding this one person who was an agent, and he was working with a hedge fund.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he had a clear buy box that hedge fund is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have to vet much of the deal, right? Because hedge fund was vetting it. So I got to do like 6, 7 EMD deals with him, but that ended because his relationship with the hedge fund ended. So I was like, yes, in this pace, I could be rich. But that ended. And then after that, I struggled a lot to find consistent deal flow for EMD. So I'm like, okay, this is not very fun. Maybe that's the problem. I'm looking for fun.
Well, it sounds like you were having fun, right? But then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, there must be something else. I'm missing something. Where's the secret sauce?
Yeah. So while I was struggling to find consistent deal flow, and I was able to do one double close in that time, which I was super happy about. But still, I'm like, oh, how do I like have a consistent deal flow?
Mm-hmm.
Because my goal still is and was replacing my W-2 income so that I can do full-time real estate. So if I couldn't get consistent deal flow, I can't get out of that. And I'm a super risk-averse person. So if it's not stable, if it's not established, I'm
you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so while I was super sad about not having consistent deal flow, over here in the Gator community, I see a lot of PML deals happening.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, there are so many of those available. Maybe I should focus on that. I'm like,
so before we get into your PML, let's summarize a little bit, because I love your journey, right? I think we all walk that journey in the real estate space, where some people started wholesaling, right? And for whatever reason, it almost sounds like that's kind of the entry point. It's either wholesaling or fix and flip, right? And it's like, hey, let me get my feet wet to see if I could either do a fix and flip or potentially even do a wholesale. And it sounds like you were successful in the wholesale space. You locked up 2 deals, you were able to, and there were 2 creative deals too. So, that is success, right? You did accomplish, and kudos to you. So congrats on that. Cause people do it for months and months and months and don't even get one. So kudos to you for staying consistent and being able to accomplish that. And then plus you got equity on one of the deals. So that's awesome.
That was really cool. That was super cool.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So from there, you said you went into the transactional lending, and then you did accomplish success there as well. You were able to get several EMD transactions, even though the relationship ended. You still found traction. So that is an amazing journey, what you've accomplished, like in 2 years. And now you said you started seeing a whole bunch of opportunities when it came to private money lending. Yeah. So when you joined Gator community, right? And you said you didn't have any real estate background.
No.
You learned about transactional lending, right? The EMD double close, where a wholesaler may need an earnest deposit, or they may need capital to close that transaction and then assign it to somebody else. That's what a double close. For PML, when you heard PML, what did that trigger to you? Like, before we jump into the amazing stuff you've created, what was PML to you, like when you first heard about it?
I definitely thought, oh, I don't want to do that. One, because it sounded more riskier than I wanted to take on. Because transactional funding, your fund stays in escrow, so it never leaves escrow. So that sounds a lot safer than PML, where it goes to the person.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's secured, but it left escrow, so you're kind of yeah, your bye-bye money.
Yeah, the money's wired out, right? So then that's where you have to do all the other betting, which we're going to be talking about. But that was interesting, right? So PML, it is riskier because, yeah, the money leaves escrow, right?
Yeah.
Now it's under the borrower's possession
Mhm.
for, if they said that, hey, they're going to do A through Z, they need to accomplish A through Z.
Yes. So that I was very scared about that. But what the reason I wanted to try that was because I could be passive. Like I don't have
Mm,
to message 100, 200, 300 people a day. I don't have to, call everybody like people all day. So that's why I wanted to kind of learn it and feel confident to try it out. Um, so that's why I wanted to try out. So it took a long time for me to learn it because, like I said, I'm a risk adverse person. So I don't want to do something if I don't understand it or feel comfortable or confident. So that was why I wanted to try PML.
yeah, and then you did say one of the benefits of being a PML, it's being that passive investor, right?
Yes.
Where, once you have all your checks and balances, right, then it's passive, right? You're the investor, the fix and flipper, or the buy and hold investor. They're the ones that are putting your money to work, which is very powerful.
Yeah.
So now that we understand, some of the benefits as far as being a passive investor, like a true passive investor, because if something happens in the fix and flip, right, that fix and flipper, that's his job, right? He's the one that has to figure out, hey, the pipe busted or something like that, right? They're the ones responsible for that. But so then the next question is, how do we structure like a PML loan, right? That there's okay, so it's riskier, it leaves escrow, understanding the benefits of being a PML, but then it comes to the structure, right? Because there are so many different ways you can structure a PML.
You could. Yeah.
So in your, from your experience that you've done several, a few PML transactions or several PML transactions, and we'll talk about simply PML where you break down all these different structures. But what are some of the common structures that you've seen when it comes to private money lending?
So structure. So what I have personally experienced is like multiple three lenders coming together to be in first position lien. So we all three individual LLCs were on deed of trust and promissory note. So I think that is the most common
Mm,
structure that I've seen. Another structure that I've seen is lender being on the LLC with the borrower.
okay.
So either you have majority ownership, so you have more power to make the decisions if something happens and you need to change the course. Um, or you are in LLC, maybe you're not the majority owner, um, but you are part of the owner. I've seen that. I've also seen multiple lenders coming together to form an LLC,
Hmm.
and that LLC as one is on the deed of trust and promissory note.
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? We're talking about structure, and it's so important. Dahi's mentioning a lot first position, and when it comes to structure, you do need to understand what lien position you're in, right?
Yes.
So all of these structures that Dahi has mentioned, they're a lot of the times they're in first position. Why is it important, Dahi, that like a lender is in first position?
Because you're the then first person to pay it out.
Mm,
So yeah, so if the property doesn't have enough meat on the bone, and let's say fix and flipper had a loan and you're a lender in first lien position, and let's say borrower defaulted, then as a first position lender, you can start the foreclosure process to get your money, try to get your money back. So if you're in second lien position, um, whatever the first lien position lender take and whatever is left, you get it. So you're gonna get whatever is left. So that's why second lien position is riskier, because you're the second person to get paid back after all the whatever first position lender gets.
Yeah. And that's so important, right? As somebody that's becoming a PML and understanding, okay, I understand the benefits, it's passive, but also understanding that risk tolerance, right? This one of the safest loans is a first position. Not saying that, it's 100% safe, right? Because I mean, all forms of investment have risk in it, but that is one of the points where it has less of a risk effect, because like Dahae mentioned, you are the first ones to get paid if for whatever reason something happens and you need to sell that property in an auction or something like that.
Yeah. And typically debt funding is a second lien position, right? So, and those debt funding return is typically higher because it is a lot riskier position. So first position lender said, hey, I'm going to max my loan amount at this, and any more than that is risky. I'm not going to risk that. But second position lender is saying, okay, this person already said lending more higher amount than that is risky, but I understand that, but I'm still going to lend it. So that's why the return is higher, because it's a lot riskier.
Yeah. And when you've seen those type of deals where there is gap lending, do you see a lot of times that the borrower will allow a cross collateralization into something else to secure that lender?
Yeah. So a lot of lenders like to see collateral if they're in second position, just to be more secure, because have more chance to get your money back if you have.
Yeah, and that's the other important thing, right, to add. If you are getting into those gap positions where you are only in second lien, you want to make sure you cross collateralize, right, if there's not enough equity. But outside the box, seeing how you could protect the lender, because that was definitely interesting.
Yeah, I've seen many different ways, and I feel like for each one you should learn about pros and cons, so you could think about in which situation, like what would be the best for your situation, and for the project.
So we talked a lot about like different ways of structuring a loan. It's super important to understand it. I know we're just doing like a high level overview, right? Because there's so many different opportunities and different deals. Definitely connect with Dahae, and the Simply PML. The other question that comes up a lot, Dahae, is how do you vet a borrower though?
That's the most important thing. So I mean, you and I, we talk to a lot of lenders and a lot of connectors and borrowers, but like every time it comes down to the relationship and the trust. So even if the deal numbers look good, you have to vet the borrower. You can't just go. You're not funding a deal, you're funding a person also. So especially for gap funding, which is a lot higher risk, you definitely need to go through this like thorough vetting process. So how do you vet a borrower? So typically what I've seen is you would collect their ID just to verify who they say they are. And you would collect their LLC documents and see if they're in good standing, and then maybe ask about if there's any foreclosure happening, like, or judgment happening, or things like that, where it could be like they're in some kind of situation where it's tricky to work with. And then you will definitely ask for their track record to verify their past experience and see if the project that you're as a lender lending to is that price range that they've already done before? Because it could be very different if you're going
That's
from,
true.
yeah, if you're going from like 300K flip versus a million or 2 million, the skills or the strategy, it's very different.
Yeah.
So looking at their track record and seeing the similarity or relevancy is very important. So track record. What else? Credit score. This is something you could probably take it as a like red flag, yellow flag, green flag. Like because if it is too low, like ask them like why, like what happened, right? You could ask, hey, did you miss a payment? Like what happened? If it is good, that's good.
Right.
Credit score, track record, what else? And references. So if they have worked with past private money lenders, that's the best. But if it is somebody that hasn't worked with private money lenders before, ask about references of their contractors they've worked with, or the real estate agents they've worked with. So you could still kind of get references from there. And then also, I've heard a lot about vetting the contractors they work with.
Oh, yes. So true.
Yeah, because that's something that could make or break the project, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard so many horror stories. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah. That is so true. Yeah. We're in a situation in Birmingham where the contractor definitely took, yeah, they made a big mistake and it delayed the project. And, it took us much longer than expected to put the property out on the market. And now that the property's out there on the market, the season of when the property's out there, the property's not selling. So, yeah, so you hit it right in the nail when you're talking about contractors. Everything could go perfectly, but if you have a bad contractor, yikes. Yeah,
yeah,
you're gonna run into a big problem.
yeah,
So
you could run out of budget. Your timeline is gonna be pushed out. You're gonna have so much headache. So you're gonna be more stressed out. So that could really change. So ask if they already have a contractor or if they have bid for the work. Ask them, hey, can I talk to the contractor, or have you worked with them before? So kind of to get answers about how reliable are they, how how well do
their
you.
experience, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that is one of the really key things that I've heard a lot of people say.
Yeah, no, excellent point. And yeah, yeah, I can relate to
Yeah.
that. But we've talked amazing information, Dahi. Thanks for sharing your knowledge with us, right? And helping us, helping new private money lenders or even experienced private money lenders, because that contractor thing, I'm telling you guys, y'all definitely need to pay, you need to add that to your checklist. Vetting out the contractor is super important. But I definitely want to share Simply PML. It's an amazing platform that you created. I've used it. I've been on it. The dashboard, everything looks amazing. Can you pull it up on your screen and share it with us? And maybe we could bring up a potential opportunity, and then you could walk us through it, because I think it's amazing. You've created something amazing for the community. So definitely wanted to bring that up here. And once you pull it up here, I'll.
Let me get
So I'm
that.
curious, how did this idea come about of you creating this dashboard?
From my struggles as a PML.
Mm.
Let me share my. So basically, as a PML, so private money lending is very private. So right, so unless you have a big network of people that you know to do deals with together, you might not come across good opportunities to lend it, right? So I'm like, ooh, I see so many people getting into deals. How come I couldn't? How come I can't? It's because I don't have good network built. So what I wanted to do here was I wanted a place where beginner PML like I was can come here and kind of look at what kind of live opportunities are there, right? And I feel like it'll be a really good practice for lenders if you're interested in becoming a private money lender. Just look at lots of live deals and just practice comping, practice underwriting, and think about like what kind of questions should I ask this borrower to make you feel more confident. So one question that I always like to ask myself um, to test if I am confident in this deal is, would I recommend my parents to put their money in this deal?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if the answer is no, then that's a good indicator that I'm not confident in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a good rule of thumb. All right,
I,
here we go. Let's
yeah.
see.
Can you see that okay?
Yeah, we pulled it up here. So this is this the main dashboard? Like when somebody were to log in, they would see this and the opportunities?
Yeah. So when you land here, you can see what kind of live deals are posted here. You can filter by your lend box, by amount, lien position, and long term. But right now, we mostly have 6 months. Let's see, all 5 months, 6 months, 12 months. So depending on what you're looking for, you can basically see the key information right on this page and kind of see which one you want to look into it further. So we have 3, 6, 9 deals currently. So maybe we can look at a deal.
Yeah, I love the way you have the dashboard there with the loan to value and stuff like that. It kind of gives you the idea on how
Yeah.
much,
So for loan to value, I need to fix this. So the calculation right now for this loan to value is it's just taking account if it is second lien position deal, it's just taking account of the second lien loan amount to ARV. So so I need to have a place where borrowers can put in the first lien
the
loan
first
amount,
position. Yeah,
yeah, so that it can represent total loan to
the
ARV.
total.
Yeah, so I need to fix that. So I just wanted to point that out. Let's see, what would be fun to look at? Oh, 3 months term. That's pretty short.
That is short.
Yeah. And yeah, there's a lot of great details here. So sometimes borrowers will have like a group Zoom. So you can see the date of that and you can join, or you can ask about like when that is. And then you can learn about the market because understanding the market, that is also very important because what's the average days of market like if you're lending
Sure.
on flip, right? And if you're thinking about 6 months long term, is that realistic with the amount of rehab that's going to take, and also taking into consideration of the time to sell. So understanding the market is important, and obviously the operator who's behind this project is going to be really key. So so one of the reason I wanted to create this is so that when lender looks at a deal, they have all the key information for them to either decide either this is for me or not, and then get more information it is for them. So I really wanted to include all the key information like about the operator, location, and why this is a good opportunity. And then obviously exit strategy and closing date, so you can know the timeline of what you need to work with. And then a lot of some connectors, borrowers, they don't feel comfortable just revealing the full address because you don't want to get into like somebody trying to
Sure.
get their deal.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did here is if I want to see full address, I have to kind of agree to like
Acknowledge.
exactly non-compete stuff, and then as soon as you click that, you will see the full address revealed here. So you don't have to go back and forth. Hey, what's the full address? So that I,
Right.
start comping. But then like a day or two later, you have, you get response, and then at that point, you're looking at other opportunities. So
Yeah.
I wanted to make that really like seamless.
Yeah, no, I like the way you added the operator there, their experience,
Yeah.
and the location is super important because you mentioned earlier the lending box criteria.
Hmm.
And as a PML, right, you have to develop that lending box. You have to know what your tolerance is, what your risk
Yeah.
tolerance is, the state you're going to lend in. Because understanding the market, but also understanding the regulations and the laws in that market are so important. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And it takes time to build that. And I'm still
hmm
building mine, and I know it's gonna evolve. And what helps to build your land box is by looking at a lot of different deals. Because then you could ask yourself, like, ooh, would I feel comfortable lending in the second position, right?
right,
Would I feel lending in co-living as a strategy? What about sober living? What about short term? Like you could think about all different situation. So that'll probably help to kind of build your land box.
yeah.
And
No, I love this platform.
oh, thank you. um, and also one of the reasons I built this is because I wanted to I wanted I wanted to look at like standardized presentation because every deal is so presented so differently that it was so hard for me as a PML to kind of compare and quickly make decisions. So if all the deals were in standardized format, then I can quickly compare and kind of move forward with
Right.
decision.
Yeah,
So
and to your point, I think sometimes a lot of people post the deal and it's like 15%. Okay, 15% of what? Is
yeah.
it annualized? Is it flat? Is it?
And I did not like doing so many back and forth to clarify that. So here I'm making it required to put all this information and
hmm
specify exactly what I want to see as a lender. So
So if a fix and flipper has an opportunity and they want to connect with you, would they go to simplypml.com and create an account there, and then they would enter their information there and their opportunity there?
yeah, they can absolutely do that. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, I can show what that process looks like. Maybe I think that's it. So return. Yeah, it's pretty simple. You just fill out a form,
Mm,
just key information, and you get this pretty landing page that you can easily share with anybody.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, super helpful tool. It's amazing, how you standardize it. And towards the very bottom, I think you had all the securities, right? Like the documents that you
Yeah.
need as well. I think you put in there
Yes.
promissory note, lender's policy, deed of trust.
Yep. Yep. Personal guarantee even, yeah. So yeah, because lenders like to see how am I secured. So
hmm
being able to see the ways that I'm secured is, help you make the decision if you want to move forward with it.
And do you recommend typically, like on these type of transactions, for the lender to get a like a transaction, a TC?
Yeah. I mean, if you have done that and if you feel comfortable, you probably don't need to. But if you are somebody, I mean, I definitely would for myself.
hmm
Because I'm not the person who would read every line by line. And I feel like I still don't understand everything to be able to catch something or be able to change language. Like, yeah. So I wouldn't know how to do it correctly. So I would. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
good. Yeah, because all these documentations, right? If you're one of those super detailed oriented person that can read line by line, you may not need a TC, but then you don't, if it's your first transaction, you don't know what that means either. So I would definitely, pay a transactional coordinator just to help you explain it, learn it. And then, if you're super detailed oriented, then you could do it by yourself. But if you're, you know, easily lose your focus, then I would pay a professional to make sure that all that documentation is properly set up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for showing us this platform. Like I said, I've seen it, I've used it. I haven't had the opportunity to complete a transaction, but I've seen a few deals here in Georgia that come up. I'm definitely talking about lending box. I did. Now I'm
Yes.
just focused in the Georgia market.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
initially I was scattered everywhere and I made some knucklehead decisions, but yeah, now now
Yeah.
we're ringing it in, and yeah, we're just lending in Georgia. So pretty awesome tool. And if y'all interested, definitely check it out, simplypml.com. But Dahae, anything else you want to share before we call it a night? Thank you again for taking time out of your day and hanging out with me talking about private money lending.
Um, I don't know. I think let's see, in my short 2 year of my experience being a lender, I think the biggest takeaway for me is relationship.
Mm.
So I was so disappointed in myself because I had unrealistic expectation. I thought I was gonna make so much money in 2, 3 months. I'm gonna like crush this. And that kind of unrealistic expectation let me down a lot of times. But now I know, looking back, like building business takes time because building relationships takes time.
Mm.
And this is all about relationship. I've
That's
learned.
so true.
Oh, yeah. What do you? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's so true. This business is very relationship based. I come from an engineering background, and my knowledge was the one that has gotten me through everything, because it's like I'm like the one that's fixing stuff, right, or creating stuff.
Mhm.
But in this business, it's not about you, right? It's about the people, and the people
Yeah.
that, yeah, you can grow a business together and collaborate together and do different things.
Yes.
So that is so true. And Pace is an amazing storyteller. So he makes it sound super simple. So yeah, so I'm in the same boat with you. Pace sold us. He's like, oh guys, you guys are gonna crush it in Gator. It's so easy to get those big chunks, or so easy to acquire creative finance deals. But it's doable. You've done it in the wholesale space, you've done it transactional, you're doing it the PMLs, but it takes time, it takes consistency, and it takes relationships. So
It takes time. Yes.
yeah, kudos, keep crushing it, Dahae.
Uh,
And yeah, that's an excellent point. Relationships.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me to this. I'm like podcast.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. It's thank you for, like I said, just willing to come on and share your journey and share what you're accomplishing right now with Simply PML. And it's always great, right, to be able to collaborate and learn from each other and see what things we can improve here and there in our lending journey.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited to have you here. So again, thanks for being here with me.
Thank you so much, Edgar.
Awesome, Dahae. Hey guys, well, catch you on the next one. And lend safe. Get your lending box. Figure it out. If you need help, reach out to one of us. We're here to support each other and grow. So for now, peace out. Catch you on the next one. See
Thank
ya.
you.